If you're planning to head to South Korea for a summer vacation, you are officially going down a path less taken, as summer is traditionally one of the least popular times to visit South Korea. Which is funny because those who have actually been would also attest that this is one of the liveliest times to be in South Korea, in part due to the large amount of outdoor activities that you can do as the locals come out to hang. I've been to Korea over a dozen times, but recently spent my first summer there, and so in this video I want to share everything I learned / wish I learned before the trip, from what to pack in your luggage bag all the way to, of course, everything you need to see, eat, try and do whilst you're in Korea for summer. Consider this your ultimate South Korea summer vacation guide. Hey guys, it's Editing Steve jumping in to let you know that this video is going to be a little bit long despite my best efforts, as I did do a lot of fun stuff in Korea this summer. However, I've also meticulously added chapters to this video so that you can skip about. And so without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Let's start from the very beginning, which is what I recommend you have in your luggage bag before your trip. Korean summer typically begins around June and goes all the way to August, and when I tell you it can feel like you're being roasted in the sun, you best believe it. And you should be applying sunscreen all year round anyway, but there's no more crucial time to apply some if you're in South Korea during their hottest season of the year. I recommend going with a broad spectrum sunscreen like this one here, and don't forget to reapply often. In line with that, I would also recommend getting a UV protective jacket, which I got from Uniqlo, I believe. And last but definitely not least, a UV blocking umbrella and a portable fan. Yes, I know it sounds like a lot, but unless you like being sunburnt, I definitely recommend it. Clothing wise, you want to go with light and breathable fabrics for obvious reasons. My go-to are these ones from Uniqlo. By the way, this is so not sponsored, as they not only fit the criteria, but also they're easy to wash and dry fast. And I know by this stage, you're probably questioning your life choices like, do I need to go to South Korea in summer? Maybe I can wait. South Korea summer is one of the liveliest times of the year, and this is coming from someone who's been to South Korea over a dozen times. There's literally so much to do, in fact, that I really had to think about what to include in the list of things to do, which we will now cover in the following section. Starting off strong with something that was right at the top of my list when I was planning for this trip, the Banpo Bridge Moonlight Rainbow Fountain Show in Seoul is a must-see summer spectacle that is highly popular with the locals. It is recognized by the Guinness World Records as the world's longest bridge fountain and features 380 nozzles spraying 60 tons of water per minute across 1,140 meters, all choreographed to music and illuminated by over 200 multicolored LED lights. The ritual, so to speak, would be to head to this convenient store as the sun is setting, grab yourself some snacks or instant noodles, cook your ramen, and head down towards the Banpo Bridge area and secure yourself a good spot. The show runs for about 20 minutes at the start of the hour, takes a 10-minute break, and then goes again. The show typically runs at these months and at these times of the year, subject to weather conditions. The best time to see the show, in my opinion though, would be from 8 p.m. where it's dark enough to fully appreciate the full spectrum of colors from the LED lights. Oh yeah, and this is absolutely free to see. And if you want to kill two birds with one stone, the best time to see the Banpo Bridge light show would be on a Sunday, as the car-free Jamsugyo Bridge Festival will also be on. The festival transforms Seoul's Jamsugyo Bridge into a night market of sorts, featuring food trucks, flea markets, and street performances amongst the backdrop of the colorful water fountains. The Bridge Festival though might be over by the time I post this, but it is a recurring annual tradition, so when I do get the dates for next year's event, I'm gonna update it in the caption so that you know to add it to your Seoul summer itinerary. The Banpo Bridge Light Show and the Jamsugyo Festival also takes place a bit later at night, but I would actually recommend coming by the Han River a bit earlier, say around 4 p.m. to take a stroll along the river. I recommend taking public transport to get you to the Jamsu Bridge side of Han River and stroll to Banpo Bridge from there. Another fun, kid-friendly activity to do at this stage, by the way, would be to have a picnic along Han River near the Jamsu Bridge or closer towards the Banpo Bridge to fully take in the scenic views of the river as the sun is setting. Another thing that was also high up on my list of things to do this trip was to rent and ride a bike along the Han River. It is a fun and more time-efficient way to explore Han River and is actually super easy to rent. Simply download the Seoul Bicycle app, link your credit card. Yes, overseas credit cards work fine. These are the hiring rates. And once you've paid, simply scan the QR code located at the bicycle ports. They look like this. And once the QR code is scanned, the bicycle lock will unlock and you have your bicycle. You can return this bicycle, by the way, at any bicycle port across Seoul City, so long you do it within your rental time. And whilst I don't have any footage of it, this was easily one of my highlights this trip. Highly recommend. But if you're wanting some other options apart from the Han River, you may consider dropping by the Cheonggyecheon stream, which is a lot more central. The stream stretches across 11 kilometers and is a cooling escape from the summer heat, complete with shaded walking paths, cascading waterfalls, and tranquil spots to unwind. You will see the area becoming increasingly more lively as the sun is setting, with the locals running, wading in the waters, or simply just chilling. The stream can be accessed through several points in the city, but I would recommend visiting the point near Seoul City Hall, which is especially where I would recommend you drop by if you visit on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as that is also when the Seoul Outdoor Library is on. The Outdoor Library transforms the city's public spaces into a vibrant open-air reading lounge, and it's spread across 3 different areas: the Seoul Plaza, Gwanghwamun Square, and Cheongguksu Stream, with each site offering a curated selection of books across various genres, including picture books, new releases, and literature suitable for all ages. Visitors can relax on beanbags and benches and enjoy the serene ambience of the city whilst reading. The Seoul Outdoor Library is currently expected to run from April to June, and then again from September to November, and has been a yearly tradition since 2022, though the timings might change from year to year, so I will always be updating the latest timings in the description box, because it is definitely a unique experience worth checking out. Aside from the Han River and the Cheonggyecheon stream, summer is also a great time to visit some of the beaches, most of which are located about 1 to 2 hours from Seoul, such as the Uwangi Beach or the Mudo Island near Incheon International Airport, Dongmak Beach located near Gwanghwa Island, and if you don't mind to explore a bit further outside of Seoul, I would recommend the Hyundai Beach that's located in Busan, which is about a 2.5 to 3 hours KTX ride from Seoul. But if you don't want to venture that far out of Seoul but still love outdoor activities, you should definitely drop by the Seoul Forest, which is a lush urban oasis in Seongsu. The expansive park spans over 1.16 million square meters and features theme zones like the ecological forest, wetland gardens, and cultural art park, providing diverse landscapes for relaxation and exploration. Walk along the shaded walking trails, cycle along scenic paths, or unwind by the tranquil lake. The park also houses a deer enclosure and butterfly conservatory, adding to its natural charm. The park is, by the way, free to enter and explore. Speaking of unique experiences, you may have already been to the Gyeongbokgung Palace, but have you ever seen the King's Library on the palace grounds? It is tucked all the way back on the northeastern corner of the palace ground and is only open at certain times of the year. Known as the Jibokjae, it was initially constructed back in 1891 as the private library of King Gojong during the late Joseon dynasty. Today, you can sit, relax, and read at the library, which houses over 1,700 books related to the Joseon history and culture. I have been to the Gyeongbokgung Palace many a time, but I have to confess that seeing the Jibokjae up close and personal was an absolutely unreal experience. The 3,000 Korean won ticket to enter the Gyeongbokgung Palace grounds will include entry to this wonderful spot. I strongly recommend you do it while the library is still open, which is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. from April to the 31st of October. Do bear in mind though that it is closed in July and August, and also on Tuesdays and during the Chuseok holidays. Summer is going to be hot, so if you do want some indoor activity ideas, did you know that most museums in Seoul are free to enter and explore? I won't go into too much details, but here are some of the ones that I would recommend. I do have more suggested summer activities, but what's missing so far is food. And so let's get into some summer food recommendations. Starting off with something that without fail I eat every single time I'm in Korea. Samgyetang is a traditional Korean dish made from a whole young chicken stuffed with glutinous rice, garlic, jujube, the Korean dates, ginseng, and other medicinal herbs before it's slow cooked into a tender, rich, nourishing broth. Whilst it is undoubtedly for me the perfect winter comfort food, Samgyetang is especially popular with the locals in summer, as they believe in the principle of fighting heat with heat. It is believed that having samgyetang in summer helps replenish energy and to counteract the exhaustion caused by sweltering temperatures. My favorite spot to have this is at Tuseokchun Samgyetang. However, if beating heat with heat is something that's really not up your alley, here are some cooler recommendations. Starting off with some Naengmyeon, a beloved Korean cold noodle dish that offers the perfect refreshment during the sweltering summer months. It is served in an icy tangy broth, commonly made from beef, radish water kimchi, or both, and is paired with some long chewy noodles that are made from buckwheat or sweet potato starch. It is also topped off with some sliced beef, boiled egg cucumber, and Asian pear, creating that crispy, savory, sweet balance of flavors. It is so refreshing to eat in summer, and you can get a bowl of this at pretty much any Korean restaurant. This next one is a bit more of an acquired taste, but if you love noodles, I'm gonna say you have to give it a go. Kongguksu is also known as soy milk noodles and is a refreshing Korean summer dish made with thin wheat noodles served in a chilled creamy broth of ground soybeans. You would think on paper that, Steve, you must be kidding, and there's no way that this would work. But I'm telling you that the combination of the slightly nutty, savory flavor of the soy milk pairs perfectly with the chewy noodles, and that this is also quite an addictive dish once you try it. Also, cooling effects aside, it is also high in protein, making you stay full for longer. I actually had this multiple times during my stay in Korea recently and am obsessed. That is all. You may or may not have recognized all the dishes I've outlined so far, but you are for sure bound to recognize this next one. Bingsu is South Korea's ultimate summer refreshment. It is basically shaved ice topped off with a variety of sweets and fruits. It is made to be shared, and I truly cannot think of another dish that truly captures the essence of Korean summer. Now, most of the Korean restaurants in South Korea will serve most, if not all, of the dishes I've mentioned so far, but if you wish to combine trying out these dishes with a way to mingle and get to know the locals, I would recommend checking out some of the night markets. And if you're after some market recommendations, here are some I reckon you should check out. And guys, I just realized as I'm editing now that I think with the exception of the MYEONGDONG food street, which starts at about 5 p.m, the other two markets are also open in the day. However, I just refer to them as night markets here, as I figured that in summer, you probably want to check out these outdoor markets closer to the evenings when it's a bit cooler. However, if you're not scared of the heat, you're more than welcome to visit the other two markets in the daytime. Starting off with MYEONGDONG Night Market. Now, I know a lot of you are gonna say, oh Steve, MYEONGDONG is so touristy, la 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 la. Well, I hate to tell you this, but you are in fact a tourist. And if anything at all, MYEONGDONG is more likely to have stall owners who can and will speak to you in English. Apart from the dishes I've mentioned above, you will also find a restaurant here serving dak galbi, which is a fiery and flavorful Korean dish made from stir-frying marinated chunks of chicken in a spicy gochujang sauce alongside cabbage, sweet potatoes, rice cakes, scallions, and vegetables on a hot iron plate. Honestly, it is so good. You will also find the dishes mentioned above at GWANGJANG Market that is located near Jongno and is one of Seoul's oldest and most iconic traditional markets. Apart from the dishes that I've mentioned so far, you will of course find the Netflix auntie stall here that is famous for its Kongguksu, aka Korean knife-cut noodle soup, and Bukchon Yuho, a Michelin award-winning store selling what is essentially Korean beef tartare that is seasoned with red chili paste. Whilst the first two markets that I've mentioned so far are great spots to check out, my personal favorite is NAMDAEMUN Market, which comprises of thousands of shops and stalls sprawled across the city's historic heart and was established over 6 centuries ago. My personal favorite dishes here include the hot dog and the spicy braised hairtail stew that's located inside the hidden hairtail alley at the market. I love this market so much, by the way, that I've previously done a full video comprising of all the things that you need to eat at this market. I've included the link to that video in my description box in case you want to check that out. Another fun sunset activity to consider would be to explore the Seoul City Wall Trail, a captivating 18.6 kilometer loop that traces the ancient fortress walls built in 1396 to protect the Joseon Dynasty's capital, Hanyang. This will give you the chance to see beautifully restored architecture up close and personal. Combine this with the natural beauty of the surroundings and the panoramic city views, and you've got yourself quite a unique experience. I will say though that the trails are quite challenging to navigate on your own, and so for this particular activity, I would recommend signing up for a tour. This is the one that I did, which is also, by the way, a great way to meet some other people if you're a solo traveler like myself. Now, depending on how long you're in Seoul for, you may wish to consider some day trip options outside of Seoul, and if so, here are some recommendations. Starting off with South Korea's capital of fried chicken, Suwon, which is located just south of Seoul and offers a rich tapestry of history, culture, and modern attractions, making it an ideal destination for a day trip. A summary of the must-do activities here include exploring the UNESCO World Heritage listed Hwasong Fortress, Forest, have fried chicken along the chicken street, check out the COEX library and visit the Korean folk village that offers a glimpse into traditional Korean life. Another fun family-friendly activity to do would be a day trip to Nami Island, a picturesque half-moon-shaped island located just under 2 hours from Seoul that's renowned for its tree-lined parks that include the iconic ginkgo tree lane, explore art installations, cultural exhibits, and even animals such as squirrels and ostriches. Consider combining this with a visit to the Garden of the Morning Calm for a complete experience. Suwon is pretty easy to navigate on your own, but for Nami Island, I would actually recommend you sign up with a day tour because that would also, apart from other things, include the transport there. There's more information about the tour that I did in my description box in case you're interested. If you're after a bit more of an adventure, located about 2 to 3 hours outside of Seoul is Busan, which is South Korea's second largest city. The port city is known for its beaches, seafood, and scenic coastal views. Spend the morning soaking up the sun at Hyundai Beach or have a relaxing walk along the Cheonggyecheon Park. And while you're here, don't forget to explore the colorful Gamcheon Cultural Village, known for its art installations, quirky charm, and delicious food. And I have of course again forgotten to introduce myself, so first and foremost, hello to my fellow subscribers. I hope that you're having a fantastic weekend and enjoying the video so far. If you're new to the channel, hello, I'm Steve from the Fat Life Project. My channel is full of travel guides, just like the one that you're watching so far, that is created with the intention to help you navigate your way through cities around the world like a pro. And so if that is your vibe, don't forget to subscribe so that we can go on more fat travel adventures together. I do hope that you found some value in today's video, and if you have, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all the good things that you know are going to appease those holy YouTube algorithm gods, but much more importantly, will just make my day as a content creator. Specifically, if you have any questions or feedback for me, don't forget to drop me a comment, as I love hearing from people who watch my videos. And if this is your first time to South Korea, you may wish to check out my First Timer's Guide to South Korea video, which I will link at the end of this video so that you can watch that next. You may also wish to download my Korea Summer Guide PDF, which includes amongst other things a pre-travel checklist, discount codes, where to stay, and also neighbor map pins / booking links for all the activities I've mentioned in this video. I've even thrown in some of the places that can be visited all year round in the PDF for good measure. And if you got to this point of the video, thank you so much for watching. I know I say this every single week, but that's because I really mean it when I say it means absolutely everything. As always, I hope that you have a fantastic day ahead or that you've already had a good day. I will see you real soon in the next video. Ciao!